Iron Man actually has the worst variance of all realities, and that's something the multiversal Avengers discovered after they decided to search for the best existing version of Tony Stark across all dimensions to join their team, since unfortunately, the Iron Man on their current roster was just a heavily depressed and alcohol-addicted Ant-Man Stark variant. However, as soon as the team traveled to the first candidate universe, they ended up encountering an extremely paranoid Iron Man who immediately began fleeing from them at full speed, and despite the Avengers even trying to catch up with him to say they had actually come in peace, Tony kept running like a madman until he suffered a severe flight accident and literally died, blown up into a million pieces. The Avengers then moved on to another universe. But after coming face to face with a Tony Stark who had literally been crucified because the people of that world thought he was some kind of sorcerer, the team kept searching for a candidate, visiting hundreds of dimensions, only to find a bunch of Tonys growing crazier than the ones before, including one who had gone on living trapped inside the cave for years, believing he was still being held captive, even though the guards had long since died and were gone. However, despite Ant-Man Stark being nearly out of hope, he decides to give it one last shot and ends up finding an elderly Tony Stark who was, thankfully, in a good place psychologically, even offering to fix anything broken that Ant-Man wanted, stating that he had spent his whole life doing that for others. But the moment Ant-Man Stark simply tells him to rest, offering him a drink, old Tony refuses and explains that he had learned he needed a clear mind in order to live well, shortly after saying that he saw a lot of himself in Ant-Man Stark, and revealing that the greatest secret to fixing broken things was simply admitting that you were broken too, and starting to fix yourself alongside them. And after some time passes and old Tony eventually dies, Ant-Man Tony learns an important lesson and immediately decides to give up his drinking habit, then gathering all the broken Starks he had found across the multiverse and forming a brand new team made up entirely of Tonys, now convincing all of them that they didn't need to be perfect, because being broken also helps when it comes to recognizing and fixing other broken things.